Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into a book that's 2,500 years old, but is still required reading for generals, CEOs, and political strategists. Seriously, it's not just a book, it's a playbook for winning. So let's get into our 5-minute guide to Sun Tzu's The Art of War. Okay, let's start with the book's most famous line, because it really is the key to everything. This isn't just about trying to avoid a fight. It's about winning so decisively, so smartly, before any conflict starts, that the fight itself becomes pointless. The real victory is when your opponent looks at the situation and just knows there's no way they can win. So, what is it about this ancient text? Why has it captivated everyone from Napoleon to modern-day CEOs? What's the secret sauce that gives it this incredible staying power? I mean, the journey of this book is just incredible. Think about it. It starts out as words painstakingly written on fragile bamboo slips in ancient China. Centuries later, a French missionary brings it to Europe. Then, in the 1980s, it powers the Japanese economic boom. And it doesn't stop there. It even becomes the foundation for the American shock and awe doctrine. This shows you that these ideas aren't just for one time or place. They're truly universal. To really get the book, you have to get the man who wrote it. And there's this one legendary story about Sun Tzu that shows his philosophy in action perfectly. It's famously called the Test of the Concubines. So the story goes like this. A powerful king had read Sun Tzu's work, but, he was skeptical. He basically challenged the master strategist, asking if these theories could really work on anyone, even the women of his own court. Sun Tzu, of course, accepted the challenge. So Sun Tzu lines up the women, puts the king's two favorites in charge as their commanders. He gives a simple command, and they just start laughing. Now, Sun Tzu doesn't get mad. He actually takes the blame himself. He says, if my commands are unclear, the fault is mine. He patiently explains the drill all over again. He gives the command a second time, and they laugh even harder. And this is where everything changes. Sun Tzu says, very calmly, if the orders are clear, but the soldiers disobey, then the fault lies with their officers. And then he gives one final, chilling order. Execute the two commanders. The king is horrified. He begs Sun Tzu to spare them. But Sun Tzu's reply is just legendary. He says, you made me the general, and on the field, the general's authority is absolute. He carries out the execution. The next time he gives a command, the women perform the drills perfectly, in total silence. And that is the harsh lesson right at the core of this book. A brilliant strategy means nothing if you don't have the discipline to actually execute it. Authority has to be clear, and accountability has to be absolute. The king didn't just see a drill that day. He saw a master turn total chaos into perfect, predictable order. Okay, so what are these powerful strategies? Well, Sun Tzu believed that every single victory or defeat is actually decided before any battle even begins. He said it all comes down to analyzing 5 fundamental factors. A smart leader has to analyze these for both their own side and for their opponent. They ask questions like, is our cause just? Do our people truly believe in it? That's the moral law. Then, what are the conditions we can't control? The timing, the weather, the season. That's heaven. What's the physical landscape we have to deal with? That's earth. And finally, is our leadership sound and is our organization disciplined? Whichever side has the clearest answers to all these questions, well, they've already got the upper hand. And this right here, this is the engine that drives Sun Tzu's whole strategy. It's pure psychological warfare. It's about controlling what your opponent thinks is real. Make them completely misjudge your strength, your position, your intentions. If you're strong, you act weak to lure them in. If you're right next to them, you make them think you're miles away so they drop their guard. You win by making them react to a reality that you've built just for them. This brings us to probably the most practical advice in the entire book. Knowing your enemy is what lets you build a defense that can't be broken, because you can see their moves before they make them. But just as crucial is knowing yourself, your own limits, your own advantages. That knowledge, that's what tells you exactly when to strike to have the biggest impact. And there it is. That sentence is the heart of Sun Tzu's entire philosophy. See, victory isn't some random event that happens on a battlefield. It's the inevitable result of having superior knowledge and self-awareness earned long, long before any conflict starts. So how in the world does this ancient military manual apply to us, right? I mean, most of us aren't fighting literal wars. But these principles, they're not just about war. They're about strategy itself. Let's try to reframe these ideas. Think about a business you're launching, or a tough negotiation you're in, or maybe a big career move, or even just a personal project. The exact same principles apply. This ancient wisdom translates so directly to our lives. Attacking by stratagem means you outsmart your competition, you don't just try to outspend them. Subduing without fighting is about winning a negotiation so well that you completely avoid a costly, draining conflict. It all comes back to doing your homework, knowing yourself, knowing your enemy, and then, when that perfect moment shows up, having the courage to act with speed and decisiveness. That is the art of winning intelligently. And really, that's the question the art of war leaves us with. It challenges you to look at your own goals, your own challenges, and to ask yourself, how can I win this? Not through brute force, but through better strategy, better preparation, and deeper understanding. It's a question that's just as relevant today as it was 2,500 years ago.